Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we're going to be looking at a game that's a little bit different from what I normally would play. This is This is Board Game Top Shop. I think that's the entire title of it. But it is a board game where you move around a mall and you kind of buy up stores and try to sell crap to other people, or at least other players. If you've ever played the game Monopoly, you kind of have a good idea of what this game is all about. There is a story mode and then there's a free play mode as well, so if you don't want to go through the story, you don't have to. And I will say this, the story's not really that interesting. It just sets up why you're there and what's going on. It's not really, I don't really think it is a story mode. It just kind of gives a little explanation of what's happening. But this is really just a party game. You roll a dice, or in this case a pencil, and you move around a mall. You just kind of see a cross section of it, and every time you land on an empty space, you are able to build a shop. So it could be anything. It could be a video store, comic book shop, food stand, bookstore, pretty much anything that you would find in a mall. And I need to back up a little bit here. So for the younger viewers here, a mall was a place where you could go and buy things before the internet let you do it. It used to be a lot of fun, and now they're kind of dying. Ask your parents. They'll kind of explain it a little bit more. So in each of these shops that you have, you sell 3 items, and they could be pretty much anything. They just have something to do with the shop that you're in. So if you land on, let's say, the Meatland store, you can buy some different types of meat. If you land on a candy store, a few different types of candy. Bookstore, different types of books, that sort of thing. Once a store has been kind of bought out, so all the inventory's gone, another player can buy that store and replace it with something else. It's kind of cool that way. It is a spin on how Monopoly works. So instead of landing on a property and building houses and hotels, here you're just opening a shop, and yeah, it's kind of fun. In the game that I was playing, the ultimate goal was to have $10,000 in assets. And I didn't come anywhere near that because I was really terrible and had no idea what I was doing when I started this. And yeah, I had just all kinds of problems with it. So if you've ever played Mario Party as well, this game kind of borrows some stuff from Mario Party if it was out when this game... Actually, I don't think this was out. I don't think Mario Party was out when Top Shop was released. Anyway, similar to what happens in Mario Party, though, because that's the best example I have, you have a bunch of ways to screw over your opponents. So every time you buy an item, you get a point. And then when you land on the bank or, the Go thing, you are able to kind of exchange your points for different things, as you can see. So you can receive money, you can open a shop at random, you can take over a shop from one of your opponents. You've got a lot of stuff that you can do if you have enough points. And if you've somehow accumulated 99 of them, you can just win the game, which is kind of amazing. I didn't try to go for that, because it's very hard to kind of accumulate the amount that you need. But the more points you have, the worse things you can do to your opponents. It is a lot of fun to do that. So the thing I really wanted to talk about with the visuals here are these cutscenes that take place in between the different turns that you have. So every time all 4 players go, or all 6 players go, you end the turn, and then it moves on to a different month. So you'll get one of these little cutscenes when it's January, March, February, April, blah, blah, blah. And they're really kind of hilarious. And it sort of is a spin-off of how just the art style in the game looks. A lot of these almost look like they almost look like they're drawn with crayon or watercolor or something like that. But they're very cute drawings, and it looks kind of like a kid would draw. Especially some of them do, where it's just kind of a goofy art style that you wouldn't really expect to see, especially, now you wouldn't really expect to see these, but it's more of an indie art style now than it was back then. So the game, just to talk a little bit more about that, the game was released in 1999 in Japan, and then we got it in 2001. So it came out kind of at the end of the PlayStation's life cycle, and yeah, its art style had been passed up by that point. But it really works great for kind of a budget title like this, where just weird stuff was getting released at the end of the PlayStation's life cycle. And this was definitely one of the weird games that came out. I did not know about this game until really a few years ago. And I went out to get it, started playing it, and I just really liked it right off the bat because it has kind of that simple, almost sprite-like art style, but they still look really good. It looks really kind of adorable, and it looks a lot like many of the indie games that I would be playing now. So I'll give you two things that I think about here. First of all, I think this would have been a hidden gem back when it was released in 2001 here in North America, because it is kind of a quirky, fun game, and it feels like one of those games that I would find when I was going to the rental store and looking for something on the weekend. Or if I went shopping for used games and found it and, brought it home and played it, I would have thought, hey, this is something that people have kind of overlooked. That's what I would have thought back in 2001, 2002, 2003. Or I would have thought it when I was collecting games back in the 2010s and that sort of thing. I don't think with the way the internet is now, where pretty much every game for every library has been explored in some way, shape, or form, and people have done kind of deep dives on the system, that you could really say there are hidden gem lists. Or at least there's not a hidden gem on a system that people wouldn't know about. Personally, you can find hidden gems for yourself, because I think the term it's one of those many terms that has kind of become clickbaity and sort of loaded over time. I think if you have never heard of this game before, definitely try it out. If you can pick it up for cheap, that is. If you're not into board games, if you're not into video games like Mario Party or that sort of thing, then you can kind of pass on this. If you are a big fan of Mario Party, then you can probably just play Mario Party, because it'll be easier to get a hold of now. That being said, I think this overall would have been a hidden gem for me back in the day, and I thought it was pretty cool finding it recently. So if you do get a chance to play this, check it out. Or if you're interested in it, check it out. Final thoughts. Okay, this was a really fun game to kind of sit down and play through and really experience for the first time, because I didn't really know a whole lot about it. I'd heard of the game recently within the last couple of years, and I thought it sounded really cool, and I wanted to give it a shot. I'm glad that I did, because I think it is a really fun game. I kind of like weird, quirky stuff like this. I just find that a lot of my tastes recently have gone to weird and bizarre games, and this definitely is a weird one that, hadn't heard of before and really wanted to give it a shot. That being said, it is for a rather niche audience, and it might not be for everyone. So that's going to wrap things up, guys. I think this is a really fun game. At least I had a lot of fun with it, and I would like to kind of play with a whole bunch of people just to see their reaction to it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.